Oh. Oh.
Oh, that's great.
Oh.
No, stop.
Hey, you keep going. New additions to Thunder's Park.
You can go higher.
The scoreboard.
Oh.
Not just the scoreboard.
Well, the scoreboard's the big
This one's not working.
Okay, screw hockey. We're just gonna go live.
Yeah.
No, seriously. Oh.
Opera.
Okay, I think these should be good to go. I haven't gained you guys yet. But yeah. So I think all I have to do. Oh, let me send you that link. One day.
I can't wait till we play Charlotte at home this year because I know like 3 kids that will start on UNC Charlotte.
Charlotte at home.
Alright, here. Zach.
Like UNC Charlotte baseball.
Zach.
At
Zach.
South Park. That's nice.
Zach, I got the scratches too.
You got the what?
Scratches. Scratches lined up line.
So you saw all 3?
The scratches, the guys that aren't playing. They're healthy.
So they're just like.
They don't dress. They're here, but they don't dress.
Because they suck.
Whoa.
Wow.
Dylan, did you get it?
Yeah, I got this. Thank you.
Sweet.
Who won't play because of the LSAT. Wow.
What a vibe.
Yeah. It sounds like a horrific injury. But it's tough. I don't know what it stands for.
It's the entrance for law.
Well, I knew what it was. I just didn't know what it stands for.
Legal. Statistical assessment.
Surveillance film.
Sports. Hockey. Wait. Hold on. Sports. CCSM. I need D dash or Clark dash D, McKinstry dash Z. That is specifically not what I wanted. It's doing it.
Johnny
I
texted me.
don't know
Johnny was
what
like,
to do
We went on
about
camera last
it.
night.
It's
Me
fact.
and my friends were like, birds aren't real.
One of my friends.
They aren't real. It's a fact.
This girl. I was like, Johnny, I don't know.
How many birds have you seen since the government shut down?
Okay,
Not
she's
one.
hot. I was like, and you expected to know her why? He goes, because she works at SGTV. And I was like,
Yes. Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah. It was about to not work, and then it worked. So.
Bill got yelled at by the chicken on a stick guy
why?
last night. Well,
That's such like a sentence. Just frame a night. We all got yelled at.
Oh wait, yeah, Zach, were you on Hammered? Were you guys on Hammered?
yeah. Johnny,
Yes,
me,
my
Brian,
show. Love it.
God damn it.
Why did you yell that?
Depression. I am just
it was
depression.
like 2:30, maybe later than that. We had gone to
I must have pushed the wrong button.
Cookout was bumping, so we were like, I'm not waiting in line for this.
I must
So we
have
walked
pushed
all the way
the
down
wrong
in front of, like,
button.
the drunk bar. And there was
I could never find that one.
there's the chicken on the stick stand, and Glenn and Brian went there, and I was like, I'm feeling Subway. I'm gonna go to Subway. And Johnny's like, all right, I'll go to Subway. And so we ordered, talked to this dude, completely different story. He's a conspiracy theorist. We were laughing at him the entire
Is that
time.
the guy with glasses?
No, he was working at Subway.
Oh.
Yo, those people, some conspiracy theorists are the best.
Well, like
Every guy wouldn't get on camera. He was funny as hell.
I paid in Carolina cash, and they were
So-
like, you gotta use your roster up here.
Yeah. You always appear out of the
I'm invisible most
Dude,
of the time.
once I got back to campus, I see Shiv standing outside in the corner. I was like, he lives.
Like, oh no.
He lives.
Yo, you see what I put in the group
Yeah,
chat?
well, I was there when they were putting that out today. When he tweeted that out.
Oh, the video of Shiv
Yeah,
passed out. Oh, that was so funny.
They're like they call him Mr. Shiv.
Whoops.
Okay, but when they put on their Instagram stories this morning, I was like,
That was my fault.
downtown.
Should have done that earlier.
Anyway, we talked to the Subway guy. I paid in Carolina cash, and it showed how much I had left on my Carolina card instead of how much I paid. And the guy was like, I was like, why is that? And he was like, I don't know. Maybe it's like the government
Okay.
buy or something.
That's fine.
And I was like, all right.
That's okay.
Me and Johnny
I
left.
hot keyed it wrong.
And we walked down to the chicken on a stick guy, and he was like, oh, yo, went to Subway. Like, yo, bitches. And I was like, okay. Johnny's like, I didn't have card. Like, I didn't have my card in hand. And no cash. I didn't want to pay for the chicken on a stick. And he's like, we take Venmo too. And Johnny's like, all right, you didn't tell me that. We had like
They take Venmo? That's so sketchy.
I could see you doing that too, like.
we had a like. Alright, dude.
He just admitted that his chicken was hungry.
Yeah.
Say this is
That's some shit right there.
He was like, it's the same one that Subway has.
Test 1, test 1, test 4. Test 2, test 2, test 3. Test 1, test 1. Test 2, test 2. Test 1. Test 2.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Capital City Sports Network, where tonight from the Plex in Irmo, South Carolina, the American Collegiate Hockey Association proudly presents the visiting Georgia Ice Dogs and your South Carolina Gamecocks. Thanks for being with us tonight. Dillon Clark alongside Zach McKinstry once more, and a big SEC matchup tonight, Gamecocks and the Ice Dogs, and the stage is getting set here for the SEC tournament.
Absolutely. Gamecocks really want this one. It's been a long drought for South Carolina.
4 years without a win against the Bulldogs for South Carolina, dating all the way back to October 19th of 2014, a 6-1 win here at the Plex. Since then, nothing but losses, including last year, 3 losses in a row to Georgia, 2 at home, the most recent being almost exactly a year ago, back in, I believe, January 21st, a 13-5 loss here at the hands of the Bulldogs, and some notable performers in that game, Carter Penzie and the Santa Maria brothers, and take us inside how big of a threat those guys are going to be tonight.
That's a heck of a trio that the Ice Dogs have out there in Penzie and the Santa Maria brothers. It was 113 points between the three of them in 15 games this season. Is an outrageous number in any league. They're definitely going to be a big problem for Lynch and the South Carolina defense tonight.
Zach Lynch starting in goal tonight for the Gamecocks in 3 games against South Carolina last year. Carter Penzie, 9 goals and 9 assists for 18 points, including in that 13-5 win against the Gamecocks. He had 3 goals and 6 assists in that game alone. I talked to Alan Surwa for a little while about ways to shut him down, and you really can't. You have to mitigate the threat that he presents. And we talked a little bit about the matchups, whether the Santa Maria brothers and Penzie will be on the same line. That is not clear yet. And it's a double-edged sword, because Santa Maria brothers and Penzie on the same line, that's a huge offensive threat. But if you split them up, still, you got to have 2 lines to guard against instead of just one. So is there one that's better than the other?
Really, it's good all around. When you have Penzie who scores the amount of goals and points that he does, and then you have the Santa Maria brothers who have an extremely high number of assists that dish the puck out, that's good on any line. But when you pair him with Penzie, I think it's really hard to stop.
Georgia 13-2 this season, including a 5-1 record in the SEC. The Gamecocks, with the win the other night against Clemson, advanced to 7-2, undefeated in the SEC, 4-0. They're going to have to battle their hearts out to maintain that undefeated in the SEC stamp right there. And so some players to watch. We'll start with Georgia. I mean, we've been talking about them this whole time. Penzie and the Santa Maria brothers, and in goal tonight for the Georgia Bulldogs, not usually one of their starters, Emily Barber is going to be on the bench. A different lineup for the Bulldogs, but still a dangerous one as always.
Absolutely. This Georgia team is one that has been hard to mess with for the last several years, especially in the SEC. And South Carolina's going to need to come up big tonight if they want to get a win.
Turning now to South Carolina, Cam Mecca has been a standout over the past few games. He's on a 7-game point streak. He scored a goal and 2 assists the other night against Clemson. He's been instrumental in every single one of South Carolina's wins. You know, I talked to Alan Surwa about the guys that put up a lot of points in big blowout victories, but when it's a tough game, they're nowhere to be found. Cam Mecca is not one of those guys. He is right there at the front where he needs to be, scoring the big goals when it's time.
He's a leader on the South Carolina team, and he really led the charge against Clemson the other night, scoring 3 points, I believe it was, a goal and 2 assists. And that's the type of leadership that this team needs moving forward in this game.
And finally, the largest amount of pressure tonight will be on Zach Lynch, the starting goaltender tonight for the South Carolina Gamecocks. He was able to get the win in Clemson. It was in question for a while. The Gamecocks shot out to a big 5-0 lead early on, and the Tigers climbed back, but the Gamecocks hung on to the lead 7-5. Lynch gets the win, and he's going to have to dig his heels into the crease tonight.
Absolutely. Watch out for Penzie and the Santa Maria brothers, like we've been talking about this entire intro.
So many threats. There's going to be too many people for Zach Lynch to watch by himself. He's going to need every single one of his teammates to back him up tonight. We're going to send you to a break, and when we come back, we will have the first period here between Georgia and the South Carolina Gamecocks here on the Capital City Sports Network, presented by SGTV.
You are watching the Capital City Sports Network on SGTV.
All right, welcome back here to the Capital City Sports Network. The anthem has been sung, the ice has been resurfaced, and we are just about ready to go here in Irmo. Starting in goal tonight for the Gamecocks, as we said, Zach Lynch, sporting a 4-0 record, 3.75 goals against average, and an .883 save percentage. Across the ice from him for Georgia, Brady Mulligan, 1-1 in his career, 3.5 goals against average, and an .875 save percentage. He is between the pipes tonight for Georgia. Up front, the Gamecocks will go with that peripheral first line. Jake Tenji, Bobby Van Duzen, and Cam Mecca on that left side. Brian Soar and Nick Peters on the back end. Important to note tonight, Duncan Hickman will not be in the lineup. He is taking the LSAT, I believe, tomorrow night. We wish him the best of luck, and we are down here in Irmo. South Carolina and Georgia underway. Drifting back into the South Carolina zone just to the right of Zach Lynch. Nick Peters in after it. Peters looking for an option. He's going to backhand it out. It's swatted down to the ice there by Chris Santamaria. Chris Santamaria, the younger of the two Santamaria brothers. Carter, his older brother. Into Georgia territory. Jake Tenji after it. He's got Mecca, and Tenji goes down to the ice. Chris Santamaria tries to steer away from Cam Mecca, and he's going to get it as far as center ice. Throwing it all the way back up. Eric Mogg couldn't handle it. Eric Mogg, one of the two grad students for Georgia. Chris Kerstetz, the other one. Kerstetz not on the ice yet. Georgia holding it at the blue line. Nice stick handling, would not go there. The Gamecocks throw it back down the ice. Bobby Van Duzen's going to head to the bench for a change. And Mecca in behind the goal, beats out the icing. A chance in front right there. It's crashing into the boards. It's Corey Hawkinson. Big first look there for the Gamecocks with 19 minutes to go here in period number 1. Around it comes far side. Caleb Santamaria shoveled back in by the Gamecocks. Hawkinson after it. Near side circle. Hawkinson plays it back down low. Powderly, and Hawkinson tries to center one. Back out to the point, it's Evan Hoey. Hoey back down low. The Gamecocks rotating now. Try to put it on goal, and it goes just wide. Hawkinson after it again. He's all over the ice. Corey Hawkinson, 4 goals, 8 assists for 12 points so far this season. Leads the team in assists. And that was shot. They score! Ben Smith out of nowhere puts it over the glove. And we are out to a 1-0 lead here in South Carolina.
You can hear the crowd, Dillon, go absolutely wild. This is the absolute perfect start for the South Carolina team.
Ben Smith moved up to the second line tonight with Ian Powderly and Corey Hawkinson. And a big energy guy for the Gamecocks. You can see Alan Surwa's decision to put him up there paying off already.
Absolutely. The puck went in the offensive zone for that long. There was something bound to happen. And Ben Smith making plays for his team.
Third line on now for South Carolina. Goes too far for Matt Owen. It'll be scrubbed back in by Dave Murray. Murray goes between the wickets. Murray's got Rudman cutting towards the net. Murray shoots one. And that one a little too hot for Luke Rudman to handle. Back the other way come the Ice Dogs. In it comes, and it's swatted out of danger there by Avery Pruden. Pruden gets bodied, and now Gator Rudman gets in after it. Loose in front, the Gamecocks chip to the near side boards, held in at the point there by Kyle Harris, one of the alternate captains. Harris gets hit by Tyler Oakley. Oakley goes after him again, and the puck drifts all the way back down into Georgia territory. D-to-D pass gets caught up in the skates there. Jacob Solaski can't hang on to it, and it goes all the way back into South Carolina territory now. Jacob Solaski teaming up there with Thomas Woolley as the Dogs go back here for a line change, as will South Carolina with 17:50 to go here in period number 1.
Well, you know the NHL skills showdown is tonight, and I think Dave Murray certainly wants to be a part of it. You saw him stick handling in the offensive zone there, and what a move. Set up a chance in the offensive zone, just couldn't connect.
Dave Murray, a snub from the hands competition at the NHL All-Star game in San Jose. Meanwhile, here in South Carolina, Colin Anderson lined up for the draw and waved out the original face-off man. Eric Moog will come in for Georgia. Moog and Anderson wins it back for Blake Drummond. Shovels it to Evan Hoey. He can't handle it. Back the other way come the Dogs, breaking free, but closed off there by Hoey, allowing Blake Drummond to come back. Drummond, near side, it comes to Nick Pizzo. Pizzo gets bodied, he can't hang on to the puck, and now it comes free. Into the slot, a little curl and drag there, nice move by Jay Stevens. And then move it back down low again. Eric Moog. Moog taken down by Blake Drummond. There's going to be a delayed penalty. And finally touched up by Evan Hoey. A tripping call to Blake Drummond. He's going to be escorted here to the penalty box with just under 3 minutes played here in period number 1. And we talked to Alan Serwa before the game, and I have here in big bold letters, stay out of the box.
Yeah, that was one of the points of emphasis from Coach Al before the game, to try and keep his team out of the penalty box. But this penalty kill is going to have to be pretty good with this first line of Georgia.
Penzian out there on the right wing, taking the face-off. Chris Santamaria at the point. Caleb Santamaria shoveled back out and held in. Point shot, loose in front, goes off a couple of skates. Chris Santamaria could not get a stick on that. Chris wearing the number 7, his brother Caleb with the puck now at the point. Caleb, a long shot, knocked down in front by Brian Soar. Chipped all the way back out on the backhand by Nick Pizzo. He's hurt a little bit. Might have blocked that shot with his right hand. In with it now, South Carolina shorthanded in the offensive zone. Brian Soar gets dumped in that corner. Now comes all the way back out. Nick Peters races back to get it. And 30 seconds gone on the penalty to Blake Drummond. Peters feathers one out. It'll be held in, though. Chris Santamaria circles back. Chris now on for Caleb. Caleb motors on through center, over the line. On sides they come. Carter Penzian heads towards the net, and Caleb heads down. Right in front. They get it back, though. Minute 12 to go here on the power play. Back out to the point. Carter Penzian, 29 goals on the season. They'll move it back to the near side boards. Penzian skates towards center ice, throws it now for Caleb. A shot blocked in front. Again, Nick Peters all over the ice here on this penalty kill. He'll shovel it all the way back out, and all 4 Gamecock penalty killers will get a chance to have reinforcements on in their favor. Breaking it out now. 16-10 to go. 45 to go on the penalty. Santamaria goes towards the net, lowers his shoulder, brings it around, and stumbles behind the goal as he tries to bring it back to the forehand. Dominic Centracchio gets it all the way down the ice and past the stick of Phillips. Phillips watched heavily by Mecca. Leading goal scorer, and he kills penalties too. Jake Tenji on the ice now for South Carolina. At center red, Spielberger throws it all the way across in front of Alan Serwa's Gamecock bench. Turning around now, Jacob Salasaki. They'll get it, second unit on here. Back out to the point. Phillips lets one go. Save made by Lynch. Rebound, where is it? In the net is Zach Lynch. He's lost his helmet. He covers his face. Bit of a scary sight here. Zach Lynch helmetless. He gets back to his feet. He seems to be okay there. And out of nothing, a huge net front scramble there for Georgia.
Yeah, there was about 4 or 5 bodies in front of Zach Lynch there. Big scrum in front of the goal in the crease. And the goal was knocked off its post, but puck did not go in the net. And it looks like we're going to have a face-off.
Georgia struggling on the power play early on, and when you see teams struggle on the man advantage, they usually try to simplify, get it back to the point, work it towards the net, and crash the net for rebounds. They did it there unsuccessfully, but a good chance there. Thomas Woolley to take the face-off for Georgia. On the season, 2 goals and 2 assists for 4 points. He will face off against Corey Hawkinson. Woolley wins it. Back out to the point now they come. Nice D-to-D pass. Long shot kicked out by Zach Lynch, picked up by Ian Paddle. That shot coming off the stick of Chris Christetz. Back now it comes. Georgia trying to regroup. The penalty is over. Blake Drummond out of the box. Gamecocks 1 for 1 here on the penalty kill. This puck lifted back in. It'll come to an icing as it drifts past the stick there of Zach Lynch, and frustrated on the play, Jay Stevens.
That is definitely one of the penalty kills that South Carolina has needed recently in the last couple of games, and that's huge for this team. Getting a really good kill. Minimal shots on goal there, only about 2 or 3. And now they have a chance in the offensive zone.
Zach Lynch came up big when he had to, which wasn't often. But now a shot here for Ben Smith off the faceoff. He's been sneaky. He's catching everyone off guard. And now it drifts back in right in front of Zach Lynch. Avery Pruden can't handle it. Pruden gonna have to go behind the net now. He's pressured there. They move it out in front. Whack back down below the goal line. Right around in front it comes, and no one can get a stick on it. Now they do. Swiveling back out towards the point now is Stevens. Stevens likes what he sees. Throws this one back down low. It's gonna come to Salasaki. Back out far point. Shoots one off the stick. Maybe the glove of Zach Lynch. In the corner now, it's Salasaki again. He's sent down. Salasaki. And now Corey Hawkinson's got the puck. Salasaki and Hawkinson. They get it out to the point. One of these stumbling Gamecocks there. Long shot, loose in front, a slot chance. And Zach Lynch doesn't have to make a save that time. Bodied there by Tyler Oakley. The physicality picking up here yet again. It comes back out to the point. The Dogs hold it in. Wrestling it back down underneath. They'll shove it out off the stick of Ben Smith. Held into the point there. Campbell. And now he collides with Ben Smith. Much to the delight here of the South Carolina fans. Smith and Campbell go after it some more. Ben Smith in on the forecheck. He's going to have to be careful not to take a slashing call here. Now it's going to be a 2-on-1 developing here for the Dogs. They'll chip it outside. Santa Maria can't get to it. Chris Santa Maria with Brian Soar. Now it comes out to the point. Long shot never even hit the net. A delayed penalty here. Touched finally by South Carolina. And a cross check going to be the call here. Judging by Brian Soar's reaction, it's going to be he who goes to the box.
That was a good defensive stand by the Gamecocks there. Heavy sequence by the Ice Dogs there in the offensive zone. We did see a play, though, by Powderly and Oakley out in front. There was a slot pass left in front, and they did a great job of taking out the connector right there to keep it from tying this game.
Starting to see the speed of the Ice Dogs here creating some headaches for South Carolina. They're running around in their own zone, and when that happens, you're much more likely to take penalties. The cross-check there by Soar is no exception, and we have more trouble sorting out this penalty. The officials are talking to acting head coach of Georgia, John Camp, the normal head coach of the Dogs. Rick Emmett could not be here tonight. John Camp, former ECHL alumnus, I should say, played some time with the Gladiators all the way back. He played with Alan Serwa back in Serwa's time in the East Coast Hockey League. Serwa, as many of you know, an ECHL Hall of Famer. As of recent, in the last year, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, 11th all-time in ECHL goals scored. And when you got two ECHL coaches on the bench, the hockey IQ of the players is certainly better off than it was before. Got two minors here up on the board now. Brian Soar and trying to see who's in the box with him. Ben Smith in the box with Brian Soar. Missed the hand signal from the referee. Carter Penzian still has more words for the official, as well as the elder Santa Maria.
And it looks like Georgia's going to get a penalty too now.
Matt Druin will head to the box now for the Dogs. Druin, no points on the season so far, and he's going to have to wait at least 2 more minutes until he gets his first. 13:52 to go here in period number 1. We're already having some trouble sorting out the penalties here. Georgia's going to go to another power play. Off the faceoff, comes back out to the line. Santa Maria, long shot. Blockered out by Lynch as he sprawls down towards the ice. Beautiful athletic save there by Zach Lynch. It comes back out now. They'll regroup at center ice. It's Kyle Harris. Alternate captain throws it over to his captain, Carter Penzian, now back, and they rocket it back across the ice once more. They get things going east to west. They get things going north and south. Carter Penzian taken down, poked away. Backhanded in by Kyle Harris, and taken out of the zone there by Evan Hoey. Jake Tenji and Bobby Van Duzen will head to the bench for a change. Evan Hoey, one of the premier Gamecock penalty killers. Racing down the right side. Now they bring it towards the center and offsides. Caleb Santa Maria less than thrilled with that call as 21 seconds remain here on the penalty to Brian Soar. It would appear that the minors to Matt Druin and Ben Smith are offsetting, and that is why we are sitting here at 5-on-4 while the Gamecocks chant erupts here at the Plex. Back into action we go. It's lifted back in as we check the clock and prepare to start again. 1:09 to go on the penalty. Georgia moving it back up now. Over center red, they'll wrist one back in behind Zach Lynch. Around to get it is Nick Peters. Peters going to have to contend with more Dogs here. All the way up in the air and gloved by Lynch dangerously. Bit of a lackadaisical play there by Lynch. He played that puck with a glove like he was fielding a shallow fly there into center field. It popped right back out of his glove. Almost a dangerous opportunity there for the Dogs. Racing back ahead. In the corner now. Kerstetz around, closely watched by Blake Drummond. He'll get it out as far as Cam Mecca, but held in again at that blue line. Kerstetz underneath. sends Dominic Centracchio to the ground, and Georgia's going to have a chance. A sharp angle shot, hit the goalpost. Right around in front, and catches the glass now as players pick themselves up. David Spielberger rotating it down low. Around at the top of the circles they'll go. Again, it's Santa Maria. Sharp angle shot again. Georgia favoring those chances. Aaron Phillips. Now around it comes once more. On the near side, centering pass gets through everyone almost. Now the Gamecocks will wrap it back out, but not as far as the blue line. 2 seconds and 1, and out of the box here is Ben Smith. Smith's gonna have a chance. Ben Smith all alone to the back end. What a goal! Shoots and scores!
What a goal!
Ben Smith rocketed out of the box, goes to the backhand, and the Gamecocks are up 2-0 here in period number 1. And he is hot right now.
Ben Smith again. He saw the play developing from the penalty box. Time expired, and he shot out of that box like a cannon, Dillon. Got down, got the puck, and a beautiful deke to the backhand to get by the Georgia goalie.
The fastest I have ever seen Ben Smith move. Looked like someone put fires in his skates, put some rockets there. And Ben Smith engages turbo mode to get the Gamecocks a 2-0 lead here in period number 1. Not the start for the night for Brady Mulligan that he had intended. Mulligan beaten early here twice by Ben Smith. And we're going to check it in the intermission, but I believe those are the only 2 Gamecock shots. 2 shots, 2 goals for Ben Smith. Now racing back the other direction. Here comes Georgia. Stevens taken out of the play, comes loose in front, a chance now, shooting one, and a save there by Lynch. Loose, where is it? Lynch had it covered, he didn't even know it. A nice chance in front there for Jacob Salasaki. And with 11:21 to go, we will have yet another face-off. My apologies. Jacob Salaski.
Lynch having some trouble covering up that puck, and he's already had some help from his best friend back there at the post.
So it is always helpful when your best friend in red is standing right behind you. 11:20 to go here in period number 1. A much different start here to this game than we saw just a year ago. That 13-5 routing the Gamecocks experienced here at the hands of these very dogs. Back-to-back SEC champions in 16 and 17 as one player tumbles down to the ice here. Alex Siegfried will be the guilty party. He'll head off to the penalty box as the Gamecocks take their 3rd penalty before we even hit the halfway point here in period number 1.
And we've talked about it all game. The Gamecocks' discipline is something that they've needed to work on all season. The penalty kill has been strong, but you don't want to be on that penalty kill too often, Dillon.
It's always great when you can get a big kill from your penalty killers, but you don't want to test them any more often than you have to. Soren Van Duzen, Cam Mecca out now for the Gamecocks, as well as Nick Peters. Georgia rotating down below. They'll bring it back out to the point now. Phillips. Near side they go. They'll try to rotate again. Phillips, center point, can't hang on to that puck. It'll drift back in. He'll float it back around. Intended to be picked up by David Spielberger. All the way out, they get it though. Brian Soar on the clear. It'll roll back in, and Nick Peters gonna head to the bench for a change. Evan Hoey on once more. Soar gonna try and sneak off Blake Drummond, chips this puck around center ice. And they'll get it past Drummond, and Drummond's gotta hurry back. Van Duzen fields it out of his skates. He's knocked down, but he got the puck out, and I'm sure that's all he cares about. They connect once more. Chris Kerstetz out of the neutral zone. He's taken down by Cam Mecca. No arms up in the air. A clean play there as ruled by the officials. The Gamecocks are treading a fine line, though, early on in this period. Aaron Phillips around. Some pressure there and a collision in the corner. Luke Rudman, the agitator down low right now for South Carolina, shorthanded. The rush materializes now. Here comes Penzian. Penzian towards the goal. Shoots one. He scores! Carter Penzian goes into overdrive there. Goal number 26 on the season. A power play goal. And the Bulldogs cut that lead in half.
Penzian caught the South Carolina defense napping there. Quick developing play, kind of out of nowhere. Led to an open shot for Penzian, I should say. And a nice top left corner goal.
Got to see, once he gets that puck at the blue line, his eyes lit up. He flipped the switch, and he just blew past both Gamecock defenders, putting it up over that blocker of Zach Lynch. And any confidence he was feeling early on is going to be coming into question right about now. Neutral zone win for the Dogs. Right off that power play goal. As back ahead come the Gamecocks. Dave Murray tries to chip it in. That rush is neutralized there by Kyle Harris. Back out they come. Penzian's got it again. He touches one up. Gets it right back. Penzian, another long shot. hit the skate of Nick Peters. And South Carolina lifting this one back ahead. They go to the sky a lot recently. And now Penzian tries to make a nice move there around Dave Murray. Dave Murray didn't like that too much. Sent down to the ice there. One of the Gamecocks didn't look like he had another puck.
Will be a penalty.
Colin Anderson. And now a whistle here, and more in front of the net here. Colin Anderson getting some bumps here from the Dogs, and they are not taking anything early on. We've got Dave Murray being separated out by the neutral zone. Colin Anderson taking some cross checks right in front of the net. And this game went from 0 to hostile very quickly.
The Gamecocks have played an aggressive style of hockey all season, really, and you can certainly see it here in this game when you have back and forth chippiness on both teams, and already a ton of penalties here in this first period. First 11 minutes still.
Jackson Katz gonna sit for a pair here. Georgia down a man, and a chance for South Carolina to get that goal right back. Jake Tenji out. He's gonna take this center ice. He's gonna take this face-off in the offensive zone. Tenji with Peters and Brian Soar. Bobby Van Duzen on that far side. And coming in is Cam Mecca. He's been all over the ice so far tonight. Back in, Nick Peters is going to have to race back to get it. He's going to be given a run for his money by Seth Johnson, as Brian Soar is going to pick it up now. Soar likes what he sees, gets it over. A nice cross-ice pass to Bobby Van Duzen. Van Duzen shovels it back around. Nobody there in a friendly sweater. And the Dogs will get it out as far as Nick Peters, but he chips this one back in. Popping up off the glove. Into the slot now. Swatted at there by Jake Tenji. Comes loose, and now the Dogs will lift this one all the way back out. Really a saucer pass. That one hit Zach Lynch in the stick. He'll play this one up for Brian Soares. 24 to go here on the power play for South Carolina. They get it as far as Bobby Van Duzen, but he can't get a nice stick on it. He swats this one down, and they'll try again. Van Duzen and Santa Maria, both wearing 9. Caleb Santa Maria. Of course, Chris wearing 7 now for Georgia. And now a hit along that far side. Gamecocks still have it, though. Nick Peters through traffic, a centering pass, catches no one. Out as far as the blue line and then some. Tyler Oakley, D to D. Hawkinson back on the point now for South Carolina. Oakley, the lone man in, as the rest of the power play guys go for a change. Shot from a bad angle goes into the corner. Smith on it. He's got a chance at a hat trick here in the first period. Boy, wouldn't that be something. That has to be a record for quickest hat trick, at least in school history. 37 to go here on the power play for South Carolina in the box. And Georgia trying to get that advantage back. They cut that lead in half just a few moments ago. 2-1 now we stand. Hawkinson, the tempo slowing down here. Miscommunication there. Murray can't hang on to the pass. Spielberg is going to bring it in. He's going to be the agitator here on the penalty kill. Spielberg can't get it away from Murray. Now Murray gets up to Ian Powderly. Powderly tries to go towards the goal. Powderly into the cooker, and he can't get it. Ian Powderly almost turning it over to the forehand as the penalty expires. And that's going to be a chance the other way for Georgia. After the penalty, a shot. Save made by Lynch. Can't hang on to the rebound. It comes free to Ben Smith. Smith looks up ice, flips it up. Glove down, and Kyle Harris is going to have to bring it back into friendly territory. Now here's a chance for Powderly. A shot never got to the net. Still loose in front. Powderly digs away at it. It comes free, and the Dogs headed back the other direction. More sticks here. Ben Smith wants that puck. He's going to get it. He's going to chip it on the backhand. He's going to head straight for the bench. They'll make it all the way past the stick of Hoey. Now in behind the goal, the Bulldogs come. 6.5 to go here in period number 1. They've got men breaking towards the goal. They can't hang on to it. That puck unable to be corralled there by Chris Santa Maria. It drifts all the way back down once more in front of Brady Mulligan. Gamecocks will try to get more things going here. Around it comes Colin Anderson. Into the scrum. No one can really get a handle on it. Anderson goes down to the ice. Anderson still looking for his first goal of the season here. He's got 3 assists so far. He's been noticeable out there. Evan Hoey's going to have to bring it back for South Carolina. Loose in front. A clearing attempt went awry. Jay Stevens in against Hawkinson. Goes down low. Stevenson's going to get after it for Georgia. But fortunately for South Carolina, Alex Siegfried gets it as far as the blue line. More back and forth hockey. End to end. And now a big collision in open ice. It's going to be a chance for Georgia. Off the skate of Dominic Centracchio. Centering pass. They score! A deflection in front off the stick. Caleb Santa Maria's got goal number 25 on the season. And we are all tied up here with 5:44 to go here in period number 1.
And that's where the aggressiveness we talked about earlier really doesn't help the Gamecocks there. Big hit, got got the crowd riled up, but it completely took our defender out of the play. Led to an open chance on the left side and a good rebound shot for a Georgia goal to tie this game.
Dominic Centracchio doing as much as he can to try and block that shot. Unfortunately, it set Georgia up for a beautiful deflection there. And Caleb Santamaria still in second place. Well, he's tied, would have tied Carter Penzian had he not scored a goal. Penzian now with 26 on the season. And Santamaria, the younger Santamaria, with 25. In the South Carolina end, Brian Soar up for Nick Peters, and now they go into the neutral zone. Off the stick, it can't be handled. Trying to get in on that is Matt Owen, and he cannot corral, and again it comes back down behind Zach Lynch. Off the boards, touched by Nick Peters rather. And we get yet another stop here and a face-off in Georgia territory.
Hot start for the Gamecocks, getting up 2-0, but 2 unanswered here for the Ice Dogs, and it's going to be tough for them to regain that momentum to get back on top.
Really, you see a team with the pedigree that the Dogs have here. They, when they're down, they're not down for long. Their one SEC loss came at the hands of Florida. Now a chance here for Penzian in the slot. It comes loose. Bit of a weird bounce off one of the stanchions, but Van Duzen's going to have it. He's going to escort it out off the boards, and in after it, racing is Cam Mecca. Mecca takes a hit there right off the icing, and we'll see if more comes out of this one. That was an opportunity for more extracurriculars, but this time, both players will take a pass. Next time, though. There will definitely be more next time. You can always count on that. Looking ahead, less than, well, I guess exactly 2 weeks from tonight, the Gamecocks will be in sunny, sometimes, Nashville, Tennessee for the SEC tournament, February 8th. Exactly 2 weeks from tonight. And they just might see these Dogs yet again in Nashville. Motoring on ahead now, Bobby Van Duzen, a backhand shot through the crease. And now Van Duzen in after it, he can't get it. Getting stick handled around by Chris Santamaria. All the way up it comes. They'll float it out as far as center. Santamaria chops it back. Sometimes you gotta go backwards to go forward. Santamaria knows that well. He chips it in behind Nick Peters. 4.5 to go here in period number 1. Game recently tied at 2 by the younger Santamaria. Caleb with goal number 25 on the season. 3 Gamecocks and 2 Bulldogs against the boards. Santamaria gonna stay back, and he's gonna whack that puck back to friendly possession. A curling, twirling move there. That puck just posted just wide, and the net is off as Brian Soar is gonna have to collect himself from the feet of Zach Lynch. I didn't see, how did that get knocked off?
I think some more aggression and a slip there led the Gamecock into the back of the net, knocking it off center.
Brian Soar, certainly not a small individual. As you take a look around here, you know, we were talking in the pregame about how, you know, we wish this game would get as much notoriety as a Clemson game. Anytime South Carolina plays Clemson in anything, there are guaranteed to be at least 100 people here in this building. And right before puck drop, there really weren't that many people here, but as you can see, it's filled in more. We've got standing room only sellout here at the Plex, in behind the goal of Brady Mulligan and Zach Lynch as well.
This is one of the largest crowds and loudest crowds that we've seen here at the Plex, and they picked a good game for it.
Coach Sirwa mentioned that home ice advantage and the crowd here. Gamecocks will take every advantage they can get, and some friendly fans on their side certainly does not help.
You also got to wonder, as a shot comes in and Lynch can't find it, how that game with 9,000 fans that Georgia played recently affects this one.
The Savannah Hockey Classic, 20th of its kind, as bringing it back ahead is Drummond. A centering pass, shooting one, and wouldn't get to the net. Finally covered up there by Mulligan. The Gamecocks have another offensive zone faceoff. Mulligan tested few times, but ever since letting in that second Ben Smith goal, he has certainly adjusted his playing style and his game to meet the necessary requirements. 3.5 exactly. Dogs can't win the defensive zone faceoff. Pruden's going to risk this one back in. Loose in front it comes, and Smith in after it again. Near side, they throw it out towards center. Bringing it back the other way, it's going to be Caleb Santamaria. Taking guys in that. Santamaria shoots and scores! And the Dogs score 3 unanswered to make it 3-2 here with just about 3 minutes to go here in period number 1. Santamaria dragging guys to the net, and he beats Lynch upstairs.
You know, once again, another fast break goal there. And the players we were talking about before the game, the Santa Maria brothers, Caleb with 2 goals tonight, and Pinzian, who also has a goal. They have been really effective, and the South Carolina defense is going to have to step up to defend these guys.
These are the times when the few seniors the Gamecocks have on their roster will certainly become more vocal as the winds have shifted and done about a complete 180 here, as all the momentum being had by the Dogs. As Penzian motors through center ice, he shifts it up to the backhand to Caleb Santa Maria. A long shot, catches the shoulder and the mask of Zach Lynch. He twirls back into the net, doesn't know where that puck is. An awkward bounce off the stanchion. Pizzo going to take some looks here, gets it out, racing back Colin Anderson, and Alex Siegfried can't get to that puck. Soar tries to kick at it, comes in behind Lynch's net. Penzian can't get to it, and yet another icing. A lot of those so far to start this hockey game. For as many goals as we've had, there have been 3 or 4 times as many icings.
Just as many penalties as well.
It's an embarrassment of riches, really, here at the Plex.
Crowd has really quieted down. Almost all the momentum has shifted.
We talk about how volatile the atmosphere is here. Everything can change at the drop of a hat, really. And apparently that drop of the hat was Santa Maria taking 3 Gamecocks to the net. That's going to be a 2-on-1 again for Georgia. They center it, and now it's going to be Santa Maria again. Hit the goalpost. Caleb Santa Maria. You see why he's got 26 goals on this season? Almost 27. The Gamecocks back on their heels now, is back in the defensive zone. Kyle Harris moves it D to D, pops all the way back out at center, and Rudman going to kick it up to a friendly sweater. Murray brings it ahead, surveys, cuts towards the middle. Murray still with it. Rudman couldn't pull it to the forehand. Underneath again, Murray with it. Murray out with Matt Owen and Rudman. Back out there working again in front. Matt Owen trying to jam at it. Still it's loose, and now that one finally gloved and held, and we'll have more. Some words from Seth Johnson. Johnson did not like the way Dave Murray went to the net, and Murray says he's going to keep doing it all night for as long as he can. Dave Murray came out strong here to begin this season. 2 goals and 3 assists in the first 2 games. That's where he's been since then. Murray got to be feeling the pressure here. The pressure to produce as a rookie is very high. Evan Hoey tries to steer it away from one of the attacking Dogs. Jake Tenji at center ice. Backhand pass up for Bobby Van Duzen. With Mecca towards the net, but it doesn't matter because Van Duzen can't hang on to that puck. Comes back now for Hoey. Off the boards, they get it around Evan Hoey, and almost a clean break there for Jay Stevens. He's gonna have to settle for digging it out of the corner. Up it comes, Van Duzen's got it. 1.5 minutes to go here, period number 1. And now it's gonna be a chance for Van Duzen. Van Duzen shoots one, and save made, rebound, loose in front. Could not find that one. Brady Mulligan had no clue where that puck went, neither did we. Fortunately, the officials did, though. Back it comes in South Carolina territory. Gamecocks move it back up ahead off the skate there of Bobby Van Duzen. $1:12 to go. Shoveled in by Corey Hawkinson. Around to get it. Ian Powderly looking for it. Chris Kerstetz, the grad student, the 5th year, sport management major here for Georgia, shoves it back out as far as center. Oakley and Hoey team up with it. Centering pass again. On and off the tape of Ian Powderly, and the Bulldogs move it back ahead. Spielberger shoots one off a leg, loose in front. Almost a chance there for Chris Santa Maria to bury it on the backhand. Spielberger into the corner against Smith. It comes back out now. Smith's racing back the other direction. Smith just going to get as far as the red line and dump it in. Ian Powderly after it for South Carolina. Powderly over for Smith. Smith rotating underneath. Looking for a lane. Gets it into the slot. A chance for Powderly there, but he can't handle it. Hawkinson bumped off that puck. It comes all the way back out. Drifting ahead now. Eric Moog. Moog out wide as that puck pops back up. Gloved down by Tyler Oakley. And again, another scrum along the near side boards right in front of these South Carolina fans. It comes loose. Powderly jostles there with Moog. Up ahead they come with it. Red line wristed back in. Off the stick there of Mulligan. The clock hits zeros. First period in the books. The Gamecocks shoot out to a 2-0 lead. And they see that lead vanish. A pair of goals from Caleb Santa Maria and one by Carter Penzian has us to the 3-2 score where we find ourselves now. We're going to step aside And when we come back, we will have the first intermission report here on the Capital City Sports Network presented by SGTV. All right, welcome back to the first intermission report here at the Capital City Sports Network as Georgia leads South Carolina 3-2. They hopped out to an early 2-0 lead, 2 big goals by Ben Smith. But again, as we said, the winds have shifted here in South Carolina.
Yeah, the momentum has completely changed. 3 unanswered goals for Georgia has really sucked the air out of this place. So South Carolina is definitely going to need to step up here in the later periods and try to come back.
Caleb Santamaria for Georgia, 2 goals and an assist in that period. Carter Penzian got on the board as well. We talked about it in the pregame, and it's come true now. Yeah, for sure. Santamaria has had quite the game. Two big goals, and Penzian with a goal as well. Those are the guys that South Carolina defense has needed to watch, and they need to play less aggressive, or more aggressive on defense, less aggressive offensively, leaving those holes open in the back. But yeah, they've played great for Georgia. The shots even at 8 apiece. Not as many as we typically see in the first period. We had some nights where the Gamecocks get 13, 14, even all the way up to 20 shots on goal in the first period. They've contained Georgia, and Georgia has contained them. Unless things change, which they usually do around the second or third period, it's going to be a goaltending battle. Who can win that one? You know, we've got the backup goalie in for Georgia. We've got Zach Lynch, and he's 4-0. He hasn't lost a game yet, but he's going to have to dig in, and he's going to have to dig in now.
Yeah, we were talking about it in the intermission, and Lynch has been beat 5 times, 3 goals, and then 2 posts have bailed him out. And then on the other end, Georgia's goalie, Mulligan, he not as experienced as their other goalie, only 2 games this season. This is his 3rd. And that experience is something that you want come SEC game time.
Mulligan, a bit uneasy to start the first period. He's found his rhythm here. He's found his groove for Georgia. He kept him in it when they were down 2-0, and now his team has responded, and that's all you can ask for when you're a goalie. You make the big saves until your team comes up and helps you out up front. Buzzer just about signifies the start of period number 2 here. We're going to step aside, reset things for the second period, and when we come back, we'll bring you the second 20 here from South Carolina on the Capital City Sports Network, presented by SGTV. Welcome back to period number 2 here on the Capital City Sports Network. We are just about ready to go. Teams switching sides now. Brady Mulligan down to our left. and Zach Lynch all the way down to the right. We've got the official score here from the penalty box. First 2 goals, as you know, scored by Ben Smith. Ian Powderly and Corey Hawkinson chipped in for the assists on the first one. Second pair of assists came from Nick Pizzo and the goaltender Zach Lynch, and then that firestorm from Georgia. Carter Penzian from Caleb Santamaria, and then Caleb Santamaria from Thomas Woolley on that second one, and Santamaria again from Carter Penzian and Jackson Katz. Puts us at 3-2 where we find ourselves here. Down on that Lexington Medical face-off circle, and back the other way comes Georgia. We're underway here in period number 2. Centracchio back together for South Carolina. Loose in front it comes, a bouncing puck. Will roll all the way back out now to Phillips. Aaron Phillips lays this one back in. Eric Moog on that first line for Georgia. Centering pass, never caught the stick of Moog. It'll come back out. Looking back down low. Moog has it. He'll tie up with Dominic Centracchio. Underneath, Georgia works it again. They love to play that below the goal line. Try to work it in front of jam play. Hit the side of the net. Maybe caught Zach Lynch as well. Out up top looking for Phillips. They'll go instead. Far point there. Blocked. Phillips will chip it back in. Georgia has to touch up. And South Carolina used this opportunity to get as far as the center red line, and back the other way is Moog again. A chance for Georgia. Wrap around, taken down behind the goal. Had he stayed on his feet there, he certainly had Zach Lynch out of his net. A chance for Georgia right there early on to go up 4-2. Off the boards now. Santa Maria wants it. He can't handle it. Gamecocks regroup at center ice, bringing in Nick Peters. A couple of head fakes, but he can't hang on to it. Cam Campbell moves back ahead. Jake Tenji strips him of control as he goes down. Now it's going to be Cam Mecca. Maybe caught skates with the ref there. Nick Peters getting involved. Georgia regrouping at center ice as we got a bulldog down in the South Carolina zone. Very slow to get back to his feet. Looks like Cameron Campbell. Gamecocks steal it though. It's Van Duzen towards the goal. A shot goes wide and catches the boards in behind the goaltender Brady Mulligan. Up ahead is going to be Santa Maria again. He's got 2 goals on the night. Caleb across. Oh, and he couldn't get it there. Through the crease there, Zach Lynch lost his net. Long range shot goes into the boards and ripped back around. It'll be off a stanchion. Brian Sore's going to have to take a look here. He'll throw this one all the way up. Glove down, kept in the zone by Kyle Harris. A shot, and that one ends up in the netting behind Zach Lynch. It's been all Georgia. 18:05 to go here in period number 2.
Georgia with a huge 3-on-1 chance there. Just couldn't coordinate the passes there to get the shot on goal. And then great play by number 8, Kyle Harris, to keep the puck in the zone. And a big slap shot. Good save by Lynch there.
Kyle Harris, 2 goals and 10 assists on the season. He runs that offense from the point there for Georgia as that puck held in, wristed back away, and now Tyler Oakley's going to have to get it out for South Carolina. Ahead now, too far for Alex Siegfried. Georgia regroups back the other way. It's going to be Colin Anderson. Shoots one. Nice pad save there by Mulligan. Bit of a soft shot there by Anderson, but Mulligan flashes out that left pad to make the stop. They bring it ahead with speed now. Gets around Anderson. Bringing it out now into the slot. A centering pass. Shoots one. Hit the side of the goal. Zach Lynch completely out of position there. Huge opportunity for the Dogs. Now it comes back again. Seth Johnson, the almost goal scorer there for Georgia. Long shot from the top of the circles, never got to the goal. In it comes. Zach Lynch takes a breather as this puck comes all the way back out. Wristed underneath. Georgia gets in after it. Jay Stevens, centering pass, almost another grade A opportunity. And back the other way comes South Carolina. Pizzo motors on ahead, shoots this one underneath. As we just passed the 17-minute mark here in period number 2. Moog lifts this one up, glove down by one of the South Carolina defenders. They'll wrist this one off the glass. And again, regrouping at center for Georgia is Aaron Phillips. After that puck lands finally, redirected in nicely there by Matt Owen. And in to get it is Blake Drummond. He'll shovel it around for Matt Owen. Drummond retreating back to his point. And now Dave Murray's got it. Murray spins back out towards the point. Tries to center one and it never got towards a friendly stick as it ended up in the corner. Matt Owen again after it. He's watched heavily there by Chris Kerstets. And now underneath they work it some more. Dave Murray in after it. Murray and Moog battle for it and it'll come free now. Shoveled up in the air. And Moog's going to get it again. He's going to shovel up ahead, but Owen again for South Carolina. They won't go away. Now Murray in the slot. Murray! Oh, and he put it up over the goalpost. A beautiful opportunity for Dave Murray there. First team all hands. Except he lifted it up over the bar. More players collide. We've got a scrum there. Luke Rudman on top. Dave Murray still wants the puck. Murray goes after Santa Maria. He gets it free just past the goal there, and Phillips. Mulligan never really had that puck covered for more than a second. The official blows the whistle, and being escorted out of the fray here is Luke Rudman. 15:47 to go here in period number 2. 3-2 remains the score.
A lot happening on that sequence. First things first, Seth Johnson's going to have some hot sweats tonight. He has got to be kicking himself. A chance you dream of. Goalie completely out of the net. It's tap in, and he missed and hit the side of the net. And then secondly, Dave Murray putting on a show in the offensive zone, chipping that puck in, just couldn't get it on net.
Now Hawkinson for a jam play. Loose in front. Where is that puck? It goes underneath. Ben Smith moves it ahead. Lifted up off the boards. Pinching in is Nick Peters. They come free. And now Ian Powderly able to keep that puck in. Again, Peters can't hold it in, and Hawkinson going to regroup D to D. Soar able to chop that puck down into a controllable area. He'll wrist this one ahead. Peters in after it. Icing not called. Powderly and Peters on the pressure here for South Carolina. Santa Maria lifts it all the way up into the crowd. Look out. We'll take a look here. Make sure everyone's all right. We'll regroup. Get a new puck. And have a face-off to the right of Brady Mulligan.
This is that offensive push that South Carolina's been looking for in the second half of last period and now opening here in the second. A lot of chances on net as folks in the crowd are bonding over the puck.
Somebody's got a souvenir. At the point now, Brian Soar lets one go. Almost tipped there by Bobby Van Dusen. It'll come free again. Jake Tenji centering for Mecca. Mecca shoots one. Save made. Rebound. Mecca can't get a stick on it. Back again come the Dogs. Mecca wants that puck all the way up ahead. Past the stick of Caleb Santa Maria. Icing waved off there. Brian Soar's got it for the Gamecocks. Soar. Stretch pass. Picked up. Here they come. 2-on-1, maybe 3. Van Dusen shoots one. Save made there by Mulligan. Van Dusen gets his rebound behind the goal now. Some chances here for South Carolina. Tempo increases. Underneath they work. It tries to get in front for Jake Tenji. He gets it off the heel of a stick. Tenji on his belly now. Tries to keep it in. The fans love it here in South Carolina. Van Dusen holds it in. Jake Tenji offsides. He thought he had a clean play there. Tenji probably wondering why everybody was out of the zone and he was still in. Whistle down on the offsides. We'll have a face-off.
South Carolina slowly bringing that momentum back. This is a similar to what we saw in the first period, a hot start offensively. If they keep up this throughout the period, I think they got a good chance of putting another goal on the board.
You see that effort there from Jake Tenji. Everybody on that South Carolina bench knows the stakes tonight. This is a huge game. They've stayed with them as it comes down to Corey Hawkinson. Ben Smith underneath. Tries to center one. Center point can't be held in there. They'll have to backhand that one in. Tyler Oakley. And now Georgia regroups from their own zone. Right around it comes Evan Hoey in the far side corner. Hoey drops that one off, and they'll try to move this one ahead. That puck not laying flat for the Gamecocks right now, and two Gamecocks collide at center ice. Brought back into Georgia territory, the quick regroup. Might have a chance here. Broken up again by Ian Powderly, and the Gamecocks will try once again. Down that right wing side. Watched closely there by the defense of Georgia. Off the stick there of Mulligan. And it comes right back out. Now it's Ian Powderly. Powderly goes down below again. 13:33 to go here in period number 2. Point shot. Never got to the goal and ends up in the corner. Hoey chips in, and a big hit there by Evan Hoey. And now racing back in the other direction. Whistled down. Evan Hoey with a huge hit there. Jacob Selaski feeling that one for sure. Evan Hoey, one of the larger Gamecocks, second probably only to Brian Soar. And he got every ounce on that hit on Selaski. Face-offs becoming more and more important as we go here. Colin Anderson for the Gamecocks faces off against Thomas Woolley for Georgia. He's got an assist tonight, does Woolley. Anderson wins it back. Centracchio lets one go, never got towards the goal. Bullied down to the ice there by Selaski, and he brings it ahead. Selaski, a centering pass, pulling away, centering again, a score! Beautiful passing play there. Thomas Woolley tucks it in, and Georgia advanced that lead. Now it's 4-2.
That was a wonderful centering pass there. A great fast break. Execution by Georgia. Perfect pass out in front. And that was a tap in for the Ice Dogs.
The rush of Georgia, just too much for South Carolina to handle at this moment. Some great passes off the rush. And Georgia has a little cushion here as we approach the halfway point in this hockey game.
And this is what we've seen recently in South Carolina games. When it becomes a 2, maybe 3 goal deficit, this team loses faith, doesn't put as much energy into it, and it can turn into a blowout very quickly.
Mental toughness, extremely important here when you get into these kind of situations, as after the puck goes into the Georgia bench, they'll drop it again. Santa Maria, up ahead it comes, now racing in, dropped it off, they'll try to get it free again. Gamecocks clogging that slot area as now it comes free once more. Chris Santa Maria, underneath Avery Pruden's got it. It'll come around and the Gamecocks will move it in towards Georgia ice. Racing back, Nick Pizzo. Pizzo wants it. He lays a hit on there, not as hard as Aaron Phillips maybe anticipated. But Siegfried and Phillips. Now Phillips goes down. Back to his feet now. Nick Pizzo. Centering pass. Nick Peters can't get to it. Swatted at it comes, and now all the way back out. Gamecocks in a bit of a jam there. They'll move it back across and get it on the forecheck some more. Losing in a tire there is Colin Anderson. That puck barely staying in. Alan Serwa says it hit the roof, and apparently the official agrees. We'll have a whistle here and another face-off with 12:17 to go here in the second. Georgia seemingly biding their time there in the first 20 minutes, and now they've put their plans into action here. They've scored 4 since South Carolina scored 2. 4 unanswered goals. Always a daunting task to come back from. As around it comes Dave Murray, looking towards the point. Luke Rudman just loses his skates in the slot. Redirected into the corner by Mulligan, and now Rudman centering one off the skates. Dave Murray tries to curl around another defenseman. Murray relying heavily on his hands here. They've helped him so far. Owen, and now Murray gets hit again. The official got tangled up in that little display there. Rudman's got it. Gamecocks hard on this puck. Owen centers one, bouncing around. Still, it's loose. No whistle called. Now Dave Murray's getting bodied around. And now we've got more pushing and shoving. Luke Rudman caught at the center of this one. Caleb Santa Maria did not like that one. And we'll have to sort this out here. 11:39 to go in period number 2.
Officials breaking folks up out in front right now. Gamecock fans have gotten back into it. And this offense has shown signs of life. Coming back from 4-0, 4 straight goals for Georgia. Definitely need to get something going to encourage this team. And a couple chances out in front. Mulligan couldn't cover that puck.
Just starting to get pucks towards the net here and more fresh bodies from the bench. Georgia coming off a loss. Their last game, they fell 3-2 to Georgia Tech. And now they're at the first leg of a back-to-back here in South Carolina. They play both the Gamecocks tonight and Clemson tomorrow. Georgia ranked 5th in the ACHA South. Gamecocks ranked 9th as this puck pops all the way back up in the air. Back ahead come the Dogs. They'll risk this one back in. Cam Mecca back for South Carolina. Mecca watched closely there. A dangerous play as he skates through center. May have been hooked there. Mecca, beautiful individual effort, gets it as far as Jake Tenji. Tenji swats it back in, and now Mecca at the other end of the ice. Centering play, Van Dusen can't settle it down. It pops all the way back up and brought out now by Solaski. Solaski teaming up there with Johnson. It goes into the corner for Johnson now. Watched by Tyler Oakley. Oakley and Johnson can't decide who's going to take that puck, and now Oakley backhands this one around. 3 Gamecocks on 1 Bulldog as this puck now comes underneath into the skates of the official. Right behind Zach Lynch's cage. The Gamecocks work it out into some better territory. They lift this one ahead, up off the glove. And now a chance. Van Dusen shoots one just wide of the goalpost. Nate Michelson gloved that one down, gave Bobby Van Dusen a beautiful opportunity. Van Dusen shovels it wide. 10:35 to go in the second period. Jake Tenji, a centering pass. Van Dusen lets one go, goes off a leg. Now it's going to be Oakley. Backhanded in. The Gamecocks still have it. Down low, Powderly. And on that goal line, a steep angle shot by Van Dusen, stopped by Mulligan. Van Dusen around the defense. Gamecocks in the midst of a change. And now almost an odd man rush developing there for Georgia. They bump past that one ahead off the boards, and got to be careful. Some more Georgia players hop back onto the bench. Almost too many men on the ice penalty. Now Powderly shoots one. Oh, at the goalpost!
And they're going to count it!
A goal. The official points towards the net. Ian Powderly's got a goal. The Gamecocks are back within one. That puck was in and out of the net just as quickly. Off the stick of Powderly, the Gamecocks just a little bit closer with 10 to go here in period number 2.
Powderly had an assist in the first period, but he created a lot of offensive chances early on there in the first period. He had a great windmill deke in the offensive zone, and that was just a beautiful shot. Rang off that top post and went in. And the Gamecocks are back in this one.
Powderly goes bar south here. Might have hit the back bar as well. And the Plex roars back to life here. Ian Powderly with a goal now to add to his assist. He's got 6 of each on the season. Just going to let you listen to this here for a little bit. It comes back into Georgia territory. New life here for the Gamecocks. What are they going to do with it? Down below, Powderly again teaming up. It rolls off the back of the cage. Powderly into the far side corner. In front of some anxious Gamecock fans. Powderly loses the puck. It's held in on the backhand though, but to no avail. The Bulldogs move it back ahead. Off the dasher. Smith tries to tip it in. Powderly with one hand on the stick pokes it back out. The Gamecocks try to regroup. And now back the other way comes Georgia. David Spielberger over that far side. Doesn't like what he sees. Gets around Hoey. Spielberger back out to the point now. Long shot through traffic. Save made by Zach Lynch. He'll receive a few taps on the pad for that one. The long shot by Nate Michelson. Gloved and held there by Zach Lynch. And we got a face-off here. 9:14 to go in period number 2.
Not the easiest save for Zach Lynch, rather. A lot of bodies out in front. That puck's hard to see.
Gamecocks making the most of their opportunities so far. Some of them have been few and far between. Georgia, after registering 4 unanswered goals, buckles once here to South Carolina, the Gamecocks, within a goal. 4-3 to score, and you got to think some of these players still very much feeling that 13-5 loss suffered at the hands of Georgia back in January of 2018. In the corner, they try to spin out. Georgia goes back down low. They'll try to operate from underneath. In to get it, the Gamecocks have help. Back out to the point now, held in the blue line, a floater right on goal. Sent towards the net by Campbell, gloved and held by Lynch. And one more face-off here.
The Gamecocks now struggling to get this puck out of the defensive zone. Going to need a big face-off win here to try and get something going on the offensive side.
It's been a little while since we've seen Carter Penzian on the ice for Georgia. Except there he sits on that near side wall. Penzian, the left-handed shooter out of Nashville. He goes into the corner now. Penzian sees that puck come all the way back out into his territory, and Owen finds that puck. Matt Owen tries to stick it away from the defense. It pops up, and Owen's still after it. Rudman out of the corner. This line of Rudman, Murray, and Owen been really successful in generating energy for the Gamecocks so far in this second period. Back out it comes Peters and Brian Soar, and now a penalty. Caleb Santamaria ended up on the ice. The Gamecocks will end up in the penalty box. And they're taking a bit of momentum away from themselves here. 8:11 to go, period number 2. And we'll try to see who is in the box for South Carolina. I believe it's going to be Matt Owen, if I'm not mistaken. We'll wait to hear from Brandon Alter in the penalty box.
I'm sure that is definitely one of the points of emphasis that Coach Al had brought up in the intermission. The discipline was not there first period, and they had done well. No penalties so far this period. Now they're back to the penalty kill, and another huge one here, down 1.
Coach John Camp of Georgia said that when the second semester rolls around, it is really crunch time. We'll see if once the second period rolls around, Georgia exercises that same will. Underneath, they work it once more. Watched by Brian Soar, Cam Mecca, Bobby Van Duzen out there with the penalty killers. Back out, center point now. Phillips fakes the shot, gets just past the stick of Mecca. They move it down low, loose in front. Soar gets it all the way back out, bounces off the boards, right on the red line. And with 1:34 to go, back behind the net is Phillips regrouping. Mecca, the agitator on the penalty kill. Mecca sees it come out now. Van Duzen, a long shot, tipped in front, went off the leg of one of the dogs. Now the Gamecocks got to be careful they don't get too offensive on this penalty kill. Mecca takes a hit up high. He's still got the puck. Alan Sirwall wants a cross-check. He will get none. Back out, they work it. Power play here, chance for Georgia. Moog moves it back in, cuts towards the slot, is hit. Shooting one, they score! Moog lost the puck. Kerstedt's picked up the rebound there and deposits the garbage right in front of Zach Lynch. Goes 5-hole. A power play goal for Georgia, their second such goal of the night, and it is 5-3 Georgia.
Yeah, that play started out with a shorthanded chance on the offensive side for South Carolina, but bringing people up leaves holes in the back. Two players following on that fast break, and one player got hit. Carestes was right there for the easy tap in.
Chris Carestes, the goal scorer, his third of the season. And you saw after that broken play, Moog lost the puck, and Zach Lynch lost his net a little bit. He found himself off balance with that right leg up in the air. And Carestes did not waste that opportunity. He saw daylight between the 5-hole, and he went there. And again, the Gamecocks find a 2-goal deficit that they're going to have to try and dig themselves out of. And with every tick off that clock, it becomes more and more of a daunting task. Face-off after an icing, going to come all the way down to the right of Mulligan. Mulligan's been better here in this second period. 6:58 to go in it. Georgia recently claiming that 2-goal lead once again. 5-3 is the score. They move it underneath it and blowing a tire there on the far side, allowing South Carolina to get a shot from the point. Mulligan holds it against that blocker. And another face-off will come this time to his left. Gamecocks will have a chance to regroup and draw something more up as Ben Smith has a conversation.
Yeah, Mulligan has been a lot better than that first period. The goal that Powerly scored here in the second was just a beautiful shot, but save scorer here for Mulligan, and he's definitely stepped up his game.
Off the draw, it's won by the Dogs. Held in at the point there, hopped over the stick of Hoey. Penzian almost had a clean break there. He would have certainly put them up by 3. Now Hoey throws it back into the corner. Hoey's going to get it himself. Evan Hoey, the defenseman, pinching in. It comes around to the boards. Near side, Santa Maria takes a hit there. A pane of glass has been dislodged. Evan Hoey dismantling the Plex. And we're going to have a stoppage here. Hoey, an explosive hit there. Caleb Santa Maria feeling that one, as we are going to have the repair crew here for the Plex come out. We're going to sort this thing out. The pane does not seem to be broken in any way. They're going to try to put it back in. If they can slide it back down, that's going to be difficult. If they can slide it back down without any issues, we'll go on here. But if it comes that more personnel will have to come onto the ice, more personnel than just the fans that are helping right now, that pane of glass slides right back in. They're going to test it, make sure it's safe. That's in there. Wow. Quick repair there. Great work by the folks here at the Plex. That pane of glass, no match for Evan Hoey.
Boy, did Hoey come to play tonight.
If we're lucky, he'll autograph that pane of glass, and it'll be auctioned off later on. I will certainly pay money for that. Meanwhile, the faceoff is going to come outside the Georgia zone. Taking it will be Solaski and Dave Murray, and the fans here letting the Dogs hear it. And it goes behind the goal of Mulligan. Picked up by Dave Murray. Murray's got the feet moving. He spins away. Rudman's going to try to help out. Intercepted at center ice by Peters, shoveled back in. Offsides negated once the Gamecocks touch up as we approach 6 minutes here in period number 2. Worked out of the skates. Matt Owen cannot handle that puck. It comes around now. The younger Santa Maria plays it as far as center ice. The Gamecocks will have to sort it out from there. Rudman nearly bodied off that puck. He gets it back. The puck stays in. Now Carter Penzian works it out of his skates. Up ahead to Caleb. Caleb with Carter Penzian headed towards the ice. Nice curl and drag there by Santa Maria, and he sends that one. It was intended for the roof, but he almost sent it into the netting. Back ahead come the Gamecocks. It's Murray. Murray bodied there by Santa Maria. Santa Maria not happy about the hit from Hoey, so he's going to take it out on Dave Murray. Now he goes after Matt Owen. Officials stepping in to remind the players that there is a puck involved in this game, rather than just hitting each other for 20 minutes. That puck tipped off a stick into that CHL banner hanging behind the Gamecocks net, behind the Gamecocks bench. And with 5:29 to go, another stoppage of play. It's been stop and go here for about the last 10 or 15 minutes. The pace picking up and then dying out instantly. It's a game of patience right now. The Gamecocks trying not to force anything but still trying to play with a sense of urgency as they trail by 2 goals to arguably one of the best teams in the league. I don't think anybody's going to argue against that. Now it's poked ahead. Free now, Chris Santamaria. Looking for his first point tonight. Tipped in front. Almost a beautiful chance there by Moog. Moog off the centering pass from Santamaria. Would not connect. Georgia's still after it, though. Moog has it poked away by Drummond. Blake Drummond sees this puck go to Colin Anderson. Anderson and Drummond cross paths. Anderson's going to have to touch up and shovel this one back in. The Gamecocks shoot themselves in the foot there on that offensive opportunity. Back the other way come the Dogs. A spinning shot off a stick, and Zach Lynch struggled with that for a second. Boy, that hit the stick of, maybe Cam Mecca? Hit a stick there in front, floated in on goal. Zach Lynch flailing a little bit, and able to get the hands up, get the hands on the puck.
Looks like he pinned that one to his mask, Dillon.
You use whatever you can. We saw in the game against Clemson, I believe Jake Badger going a little old school Dominic Hasek, throwing those skates towards the ceiling, the 2-pad stack. I think he used his head to stop the puck, but he made the save, and ask any goalie, that's what matters. They don't ask why, they just ask if you made the save. All the way around it comes, cannot be held in. And now giving chase is Ben Smith as Nate Michelson in after for Georgia. Smith sends Michelson down emphatically. It comes back out now. Tyler Oakley back down to the aggressor, Ben Smith. Smith can't pull it out of his shin guards there. Comes down underneath. Powderly still wants it. Ian Powderly going to get the skates moving now. Into the corner. A nice hit there by Ian Powderly. Woolley feeling that one. Around it comes. Oakley keeps it in for South Carolina. 4:16 to go here. Oakley around past the stick of Hawkinson. Smith underneath. Centering pass for Powderly. A shot blocked by the stick there. One of the Bulldogs losing a twig, but that puck never made it to the goal. Oakley still battling for it. Down to the ice he goes. Drop pass to no one. Nice move there by Powderly. And now a chance. Clean in the other way. Johnson shoots one past the goal. Johnson had room on that blocker side, but he couldn't find it. Hawkinson loses it now. Back the other way they come. Another centering pass. In on Lynch. Lynch makes the save. Sprawling out. Now the puck is loose. Big opportunity in front. The majority of Georgia's chances are coming on that rush. They just have too much speed for the Gamecocks to contain. They crash into Zach Lynch, and I'm sure Lynch has got to be tired of getting run into.
Yeah, just when the Gamecocks seem like they're getting something going in the offensive zone, defensive mistake or letting someone in behind is really killing them. As a perfect example there, where not Cam Mecca, Ben Smith is creating opportunities left and right in the offensive zone, and then open chance for Georgia.
Brian Soar wraps that one off the boards. Held in by Caleb Santamaria. Van Duzen, a touch pass ahead off the stick of Cam Mecca. And really frozen there by Mulligan. A beautiful opportunity. Bobby Van Duzen feeds the seam pass to Mecca, but nothing doing there. 3:28 to go in period number 2. Don't forget to stay with us during this second intermission. I will be down at ice level talking to Brian Soar, top pair defenseman for South Carolina, playing all the crucial minutes. And I took a picture of Alan Serwa's lines, and he had that first defensive pairing of Soar and Peters circled, and they wrote against 27, meaning that Serwa is going to keep them against Carter Penzian for as much as he can. Soar now at the point, tries to lay it ahead. Santamaria's going to have it a 2-on-1. Penzian and Caleb Santamaria. Here comes Penzian. Shoots one off the glove of Zach Lynch. Barely got a piece of it, but it was enough.
There's that fast break, Dillon.
Around they come. Nick Peters down the near side. Peters motors on the head. The defenseman, Nick Peters, shoots one. And catching it with the shoulder there is Brady Mulligan. Around it comes. Gamecocks seem to be inspired there by that save from their goaltender. Lifted ahead by Aaron Phillips. As far as Nick Peters. Peters, shimmy shake around the blue line there. The official going to blow the whistle. I'm going to say that Bobby Van Duzen was offsides all the way across the ice. And this faceoff will come yet again outside.
That offside's a killer there. Good move to get into the zone and looked like something was building up. But now we're going to have a face-off right here in front of us, Dillon.
Always a good vantage point. Not as good as Clemson. We were down at ice level for Clemson. Gets a little hard to see when it goes into the corners, but boy, when someone hits you right in front of the camera, you feel it. Evan Hoey laid some hits on in Clemson that I'm still feeling. I wasn't even in the game. Now ahead comes South Carolina. On the rush, catching a shoulder there of Alex Siegfried. It was Kyle Harris. As now it comes loose. Played in along The Gamecocks hold it in around that faceoff dot. Underneath, they work it to Colin Anderson. Anderson can't get it to Hoey. Hoey wanted it at the point. Now it's going to be a 3-on-2 the other way for Georgia. Down that side. Chris Santamaria cutting towards the slot. Shooting one. Save made again. Zach Lynch puts the wickets together. Makes the save. And Chris Santamaria still looking for a goal here tonight. He'll have to look further. 2:12 to go here in period number 2. Gamecocks still trail 5-2.
A couple shots in a row by the Ice Dogs on odd man rushes. And Lynch stepping up on the last couple.
Zach Lynch had a bit of a disadvantage being on the smaller side. Got to make yourself as big in the net as you possibly can. You got to play out more up at the top of the paint. Get your heels on the top of the crease at least, if not more. You saw, this was a while ago, Tim Thomas back in 2011 won the Vezina Trophy. Timmy T standing 5'11". Now a chance here for Murray. Murray tries to spin away from a check, but the large body there of Kerstets negating that opportunity. Kerstets again. Off a few sticks, held in by Centracchio. He comes underneath for Murray. Dave Murray with a $1:43 to go in period number 2. Murray takes a whack there, no call made. Officials letting him play here tonight. Murray tries to get it 3. Underneath and now falling to the ice, Matt Owen. They'll dig it out from underneath Matt Owen. Murray and now Rudman again. Plays in front for Matt Owen. It comes off the stick and he cannot hang on to it. Back again comes Georgia. Taken out of the play there, a clean hit as Matt Owen comes back to fill in. Owen, now Centracchio off the boards. Centracchio gonna have to take a hit to make a play here. It comes loose in front. Rudman. Back out a point shot by Phillips. Save made by Zach Lynch. Gloves and covered, and we'll have another face-off here. 1:09 to go in the period.
You see, this is where getting that momentum back is big. Last minute of the period, down 2. South Carolina needs to get something going offensively. Or on the other side, if you let up a goal from Georgia, it can completely change the feeling of this game.
No surprise, Coach Camp sends Chris Santamaria out there to take the draw. Georgia seeming to win it, at least for the moment here. It's shoveled out by Nick Peters, and Ben Smith does the same. Racing ahead, 2 Gamecocks. Corey Hawkinson wants it. And just patient enough was Michelson for Georgia, waiting until that puck was clean over the goal line to touch it up for that icing. Corey Hawkins got him behind the hustle there.
Fans certainly not happy about that icing call. Neither is number 10, Ben Smith, talking with the referee.
Ben Smith, always one of the more vocal Gamecocks, as we've seen. Doesn't have an A on his sweater, but he is certainly a leader in the locker room. As Ben Smith comes out to the point, that puck goes down underneath. Watched by Brian Soar, it comes. Chris Santamaria backhands one into the boards. On the near side, Ian Powderly risked this one ahead. Tipped in by Ben Smith. The officials rule it was tipped. And now Santamaria's going to have it. He'll float this one out. Nice play from the foot to the stick there. David Spielberger. As he comes back, Spielberger with Maurer in the center. Maurer a shot, never got it off. And now Spielberger tries to center that one. Eric Moog in the corner. Ian Powderly has it for South Carolina. He's got a goal on a rush similar to this one. Powderly motors on ahead, can't get it free. Nick Peters goes down to the ice, and he can't get that one. Eric Moog again for Georgia. Brian Soares got it, and trying to be tricked there by David Spielberger. Now off a skate there, comes held in and kicked out by Zach Lynch right as the buzzer sounds. An ill-advised pass. Gamecocks kick it out, and Brian Soar already off the ice. We'll have to try to get him back for that interview. The score is 5-3 here at the end of period number 2. We're going to take a break here, and when we come back, I'll be down at ice level or somewhere with Brian Soar once we find him here on the Capital City Sports Network, presented by SGTV. right, welcome back to the Capital City Sports Network here as we get started for the third period. We apologize, that interview with Brian Soar was not meant to be due to some technical difficulties. We need wireless mics to do that that bit, and our wireless mics just would not cooperate. But we get right back on the horse here. Get ready for the third period. The goal scoring in the second period, we'll take you through it since we've got the official rulings on it. The first Georgia goal scored by Thomas Woolley. Second goal of the period scored by Ian Powderly. Yeah, that back bar shot. And third goal of the period, Chris Kerstets. As we are underway here in period number 3. It's 5-3 Georgia, and that's how we got here. Underneath, Matt Owen, a backhand chance there, loose in front. Secondary opportunity, still kept out there. The official blows the whistle. The net must have come off. Brady Mulligan forced to make 2 huge saves, denying Matt Owen right on the doorstep. Owen still looking for his first goal of the season. He's going to have to look a little further.
Quick start, 13 seconds into this period, and you got a couple of chances out in front of Mulligan. But the goalie in his third game stands strong.
Coach Serwine elects to go with that energy line. Dave Murray, Matt Owen, and Luke Rudman to start period number 3. So far, his decision looking like the right one. Off the tie-up, it comes free. Matt Owen, and all the way back out past Blake Drummond. Icing waved off as indicated by the official, as well as Zach Lynch. Loose behind the goal. Salaski wants it underneath. He's not going to get it. Dave Murray comes, brings the hit against that weak pane of glass, and Jay Stevens. Matt Owen shuffles this one ahead. Luke Rudman, a 1-on-2. Going to try to bring it out wide. Rudman puts those hands together and gets that reach on the stick, and Rudman body behind the net. But it is a Georgia player going down, and then Matt Owen, as the ice a little too slippery to begin period number 3 here. Ahead, it's brought once more by Stevens. Stevens going to have to get around Blake Drummond. He can't do it. Underneath, the Gamecocks throw that one off the boards. Stepped into Carolina territory. And all the way back out again. Icing waved off again. Most of these plays ending in dump-ins or icings. A feeling out process which has really gone on for the whole game so far. All the way down, this one easily sticked into the corner there by Mulligan. Out it comes, a slow roller just past the left side of Zach Lynch. It'll come for an icing with 18:37 to go here in the third. Fans settling back into their seats now. We've seen a lot of soft pretzels. We've seen some pizza. And as the boys on the team call it, adult sodas. It's a college hockey night here in South Carolina. Offensive zone draw now for Jake Tenji. He'll win it back, but his teammate Van Dusen can't handle it. Off the skate now, Peters shuffled around by Carter Penzian. Penzian, a centering pass, goes off a few sticks, and now the Gamecocks have it. At center, lifted back in, past Lynch, and now Peters is going to have to try his hand at it. He's got one Santa Maria and one Penzian on him. Nice little spin there by Nick Peters. As tied up at center ice is Cam Mecca. Georgia flips it in once more. Captain Tenji banks it off the dasher. Nick Peters looks ahead, lifts that one up. Glove down by Caleb Santamaria. Santamaria spins away from Jake Tenji. Along the near side, Van Dusen centering pass for Mecca. Mecca tries to spin away, but he can't do it. Van Dusen now, as far as the skate of Tenji, brought back in by Penzian. Penzian goes around Soar, shoots one, hit the side of the goal. That slick release there of Carter Penzian. So easy to miss if you blink. And now back the other way comes Van Dusen. Van Dusen with speed. His shot never got towards the goal. Van Dusen follows the rebound, though. Sends one in front, but nobody in a Carolina sweater, at least, can touch that puck. Back again. The Dogs moving in behind Zach Lynch. Peters slaps that one back around. Van Dusen redirects it between the feet. And now Soar's going to have to tap this one to Peters. Again, dangerous territory in behind the South Carolina net. Corey Hawkinson on. Waves at it, can't get a stick on it. It comes back out again into the zone. Turning shot, and Zach Lynch from the seat of his pants. Now still losing a diving play by Lynch. Zach Lynch slow to get back to his net, but he redeemed himself there. Gamecocks back on their heels now. Georgia trying to take advantage. Back the other way comes Ian Powderly. Powderly tries to turn on the boosters there. Powderly in the slot, hooked. Still has the puck, shoots one, save made, rebound. Into the corner it goes. Gamecocks still digging for it. Back out at Pruden, the shot. A long one into the breadbasket of Mulligan. And again, the individual effort there by Ian Powderly. He's got a goal and an assist tonight. And he doesn't look like he's quite ready to be done yet.
Yeah, great offensive performance from Powderly so far today, and he is certainly not giving up yet. A lot of chances in the offensive zone. Mulligan has stood his ground yet again, and now a face-off with players still skating off the ice.
Oakley's going to flip this one back in. It goes to Kerstets. And again, Kerstets is going to mortar this one up towards center. Up off the dasher once more. Flip back out by the Gamecocks. They'll have to regroup. Colin Anderson brings it ahead. 3-on-3. Anderson, the right-handed shot on his strong side. It ends up behind the goal. Poked between the Gamecock defense and bringing it ahead now. Draped all over the defender there for South Carolina. Tyler Oakley brings this one ahead now. Anderson again. Long shot, not even close to the goal. Xavier Kroon's going to have to bring this one in. The drop-off pass back the other way come the Dogs. A long shot, never got towards the goal. In the slide, it was blocked by the skate there. Perhaps the shin guard of Tyler Oakley. Around it comes Pizzo, can't handle it. Underneath. Off the stick of Pizzo, it's kept in by a skate there. Skate of Kyle Harris. But worked as far as center ice and brought back in now. Stepped into there by Tyler Oakley. Jay Stevens, the target of a lot of physicality tonight. Swinging in towards center now. He sends some players off for a change. Kerstets, a big glove save. Zach Lynch flashes the leather once more. 15:25 to go in the third. And because of that glove stop, the score remains the same. 5-3 Georgia. The Gamecocks trying to claw their way back and make this a one-goal hockey game.
Georgia doing well on the forecheck there. Gamecocks having trouble to keep it out of their zone when Georgia is playing aggressive offensively.
Sword chips this one around to Peters. Gamecocks, I don't know if you saw it there, but a little slow getting back onto the bench. They got to be careful not to get a too many men penalty. In the slot now in that near side faceoff dot. Penzian, a backhand saucer pass. Beautifully gets to Caleb Santa Maria. Chipped out by Dave Murray, but not away. Redirected into the corner by Lynch, and Soar's going to have to shovel this one out. Santa Maria has other ideas. It comes down to Nick Peters on the near side. 15 exactly to go in period number 3. Peters, a mobile defenseman for South Carolina, cuts towards center ice, nearly avoids a big hit there by Caleb Santa Maria. And I think Nick Peters has got to be thanking his lucky stars. He did not catch that shoulder of Santa Maria. Santa Maria has at least 4 or 5 inches on Peters, and that would have been a shoulder to the face there. Broken up at center ice. Penzian just going to shovel this one back in, and now a chance one-on-one. Separated from the puck, though. Dave Murray brings it ahead, but again they get it back, and again it's Spielberger. Spielberger centers one, can't get a good connection. Gamecocks try to dig it out. Loose in the slot, it comes back outside. Kerstets shot, tipped in front, leaks through Lynch, but not on goal. Underneath still, Soar, hands up in the air, lost his stick. Again, Oakley. Now up ahead, Matt Owen. Tries to bring it through, he's gonna head for the bench and a change. Underneath, Gamecocks trying to cause havoc. Georgia with a controlled breakout opportunity here. They move to the far side. A lot of cross-ice passes there in that neutral zone. Nice drop pass there. Chris Santa Maria wrists that one off the outside of the cage. It's going to come down to Nick Peters on the far side, right in front of those Gamecock fans. The standing room only crowd here at the Plex in Irmo. Don't forget, Sunday night, the Gamecocks travel down to Athens, Georgia for an outdoor game against Auburn. More about that later as Peters has it. Tries to step through. Nice move there by Peters. Tumbling down. One of the Dogs still able to get a stick on that and deny Cam Mecca a beautiful opportunity. Mecca, cross ice. Centracchio picks it up off the boards, but he cannot get a stick and a solid connection there. Is this one brought out towards center? Mecca's got it again. He'll step towards that face-off dot, loses the puck, but Corey Hawkins is there to bail him out. More collisions in that corner. Hawkinson able to stay on his feet as his puck comes around now to Evan Hoey. Popped up in the air. Hoey, a blast off the bouncer. Little one hop that ends up off the boards about 5 feet to the right of Brady Mulligan. Now through center, Chris Santa Maria, a nice move. Loses the puck though there. And now Ian Powderly, 7 against 7. Powderly of South Carolina and Chris Santa Maria of Georgia. And now Van Duzen brings it back ahead. Van Duzen with Powderly cutting towards the goal. Van Duzen hit hard, causing him to lose that puck. And now Chris Santa Maria cannot settle that puck down. They'll have to regroup it again in friendly territory. Time of possession, certainly an advantage here for Georgia as Ian Powderly shrugs off a hit. Ben Smith a long wrister. from the blue line. Now he's going to poke this one around the defense. Around it comes. No one home for South Carolina. Blake Drummond filling in right there at his point spot. And a collision behind the play. More shots there. Corey Hawkinson gets hit twice. Jay Stevens and Hawkinson jawing at each other behind the play. Now back in it. Ben Smith with Hawkinson. Smith drops it off for Corey. Corey Hawkinson shoots one, never got towards the goal. A lot of block shots here tonight for the Dogs, especially by those defenders on the rush. 11:50 to go here, period number 3. Last goal scored all the way back in period number 2. Back out at the point, it comes tipped in front. Bit of a screen there, accidental though it may have been. Zach Lynch able to get it into the corner. Still loose, more players go down. And Caleb Santa Maria going after one of the Gamecocks, not letting him get back to his feet. Now a penalty, finally. The official's going to send 2 guys off here, makes 2 clear indications. Blake Drummond certainly happy about this one. Caleb Santa Maria is going to go sit for a pair, as will Ian Powderly, as the box door swings open. Not the first time these guys have seen the penalty box here in this game. 11:34, and it's going to look like we're going to have some 4-on-4 action. A chance for things to open up here as fewer men on just the same amount of ice.
Absolutely. Gamecocks trying their darndest to get something going here. Down 2 goals with about 11 minutes left. We are going to skate 4-on-4 here. A lot of open ice, Dillon.
More room means the skilled players come on, as we do have 5 Bulldogs. Now Spielberger heads back to the bench as he is the odd man out. Chris Santa Maria up front. The grad students Eric Mogg and Kurzetz on the back end. The Kurzetz moves up to the wing slot now. Cameron Campbell, that center point man for Georgia. Nick Peters lined up way out wide. Now Santa Maria bullies his way to the net and he scores. Chris Santa Maria with an unbelievable individual effort. Zach Lynch a bit shaken up on the play. But Georgia makes it 6 and a 3-goal lead here with 11.5 to go in the third.
Right after it starts to get chippy, both teams getting frustrated. South Carolina especially getting frustrated. Georgia wins the face-off and just drives through the defense. Gets the goal.
The strength of Chris Santa Maria there. He's got the size advantage there. It looked like he was matched up against Brian Soar. Soar unfortunately losing that battle there. He prided himself on not being beaten yet tonight. Some stellar defensive play by Soar until that blemish there on his record. 6-3 will stay at 4-on-4. Soar gets sent down. And now ahead comes South Carolina. 2-on-2. The back checking of Chris Santa Maria. And now ahead comes Mecca. Tries to get it through the wickets there. Poked wide. Gamecocks trying to stick handle through people rather than move it around them. Free it comes. Soar pinching in now. Off the board. Soar gets sent down hard. Murray can't keep it in. Back the other way. Eric Moog. Moog hits Cam Mecca in the defensive zone. Santa Maria going to bring it in. Narrowly avoids a check there by Dave Murray. And hacked at by 3 Gamecocks. Almost looking for his second of the night there. Soar up ahead, right off the stick of Nick Peters. As we are just about with a 1 minute remaining on the 4-on-4. Nick Peters looks for Dave Murray. Murray trying to inspire his team to get the tempo going once more. Peters going to have to come in to bail him out. Murray again as Peters steps towards the slot. Doesn't like what he does as he lost that puck. Off a skated center ice is going to come back, and Evan Hoey is going to be beaten by Spielberger. Spielberger tosses Evan Hoey down to the ice before falling himself. Hawkinson sends it back. Hoey doesn't want to get it. Spielberger tries to send it in front, still loose. The Gamecocks all sorts of discombobulated right now. Penzian turns over his shoulder at center ice. He's going to come back. Carter Penzian tries to beat Hoey out wide. Hoey lost his stick, but Hoey's not going to let him have it that easily. Penzian shot it off the outside of the cage. Zach Lynch got a piece of it 5 seconds ago on the 4-on-4. Redirected at center ice. Penzian's got it again. Taken away by Evan Hoey. Hoey winds it, fires one. That caught a stick. Thunders up into the ceiling here at the Plex after the redirection off the stick of Kyle Harris. That was a cannon by Evan Hoey high in the slot.
Yeah, that deflection went straight into the ceiling. That was a 90-degree angle right there.
I recently started doing, well, I guess it's not recently anymore, but the launch angles on the home runs in baseball.
Need the StatCast out here.
Yeah, we need to see what the launch angle was on that one, because I bet that was I'm going to say 80 degrees, at least.
Might have dented the ceiling.
Might have dented the ceiling. Well, it probably wouldn't be the first time. Chipped away here by Drummond as meanwhile it's picked up by Powderly. Moved ahead. Ben Smith getting in after it. Smith can't hold it. Now comes past Pizzo. Now Drummond races in, moves into Georgia territory, but the Gamecocks have to touch up. Long slapper right over the head of Zach Lynch, over the glass as well, and into the netting. We will have another face-off. We'll be interested to see where it comes. It looks like it's going to come at center ice with 9:09 to go here in period number 3. Gamecocks, as we said, ranked 9th in the ACHA South as per the most recent ranking. 4-0 in the SEC over quite a few formidable opponents. But barring a miraculous comeback tonight, they will fall to 4-1. That's going to affect their seeding going into the tournament. As we said, 2 weeks from now. Arkansas winning it all last season. The Gamecocks will face that championship caliber team Sunday night. 6:30 start outdoors at the Classic Center in Athens, Georgia. Taking hockey back to its roots and then pushing it about 1,200 miles to the south. Matt Owen's going to try to shoot this one in. Gamecocks will again have to regroup, come back on the offsides. Comes to the near side now, Jay Stevens. Surveys the slot. Stevens tries to poke that one through. It gets into the net. A loose play. Bit of a strange bounce there, and they'll let him know. Thomas Woolley, second goal of the night, 3rd point, and he will let the fans hear it. And not much they can do to combat that one, as it is now 7-3 in favor of the Dogs. And with 8:14 to go in period number 3, does that just about put it away?
I think so, Dillon. Lynch just caught napping in the crease right there. Slid to his left, expecting to pass, and couldn't push off to get back to cover the goal, and that one just slipped in.
I misread my handwriting there. That is the 3rd goal on the night, a hat trick for Woolley. The Gamecocks, no strangers to Bulldog hat tricks. Carter Penzian had one in their most recent matchup before this one. Gamecocks were supposed to play the Bulldogs early on in October, but were not due to those lost games. First collision between these two teams here in the calendar year. And it looks like Georgia going to take this one. 7:43 to go in the 3rd. They'll drop it off. It's Penzian looking for another one. Catches the glass and then the netting again. And Carter Penzian, you really just got to look in awe. When he shoots that puck, it is moving.
Yeah,
it's hard to follow.
He has some heat on that thing. And if he could get a couple of those slap shots on net, I'm sure this lead would just expand.
This little snapshots of Carter Penzian. Really, you look at the release similar to, we've talked a lot, I guess the whole hockey world has talked a lot about the release of Jack Eichel, Austin Matthews. Matthews and Eichel just have such stealthy releases. It makes it so hard as a goaltender to pick up that puck and really determine when to start moving. I mean, you're acting on instinct at that point, but still, it fools your senses when you barely even see the blade of the stick twitch and all of a sudden that puck's hurtling towards you, doing 75 or 80 miles an hour. Behind the goal, Chris Santamaria centers it, comes off the back of the cage. Centraki is going to kick it into the corner. Reinforcements come for Georgia. Santamaria centering pass, save made by Lynch. Still it's loose, it gets through. Hoey may have made a save himself as the net gets knocked off. Zach Lynch got another appendage to the face there. He's had his crease crashed a couple of times tonight, and Gamecocks going to have to defend their goaltender a little bit more here, as they've only got 2 of them, and health becomes more and more important as the season rolls on. Remember last season, Bobby Lombardi, a career-ending back injury, as the list of goaltenders got shorter and shorter last year for the Gamecocks. Fortunately, they had Nick Jasinski waiting in that pipeline. Brian Soar in front of a quieted crowd here at the Plex. Bobby Van Duzen tries to move it ahead. They'll chip it over center red. Up off the glove there of Carestes. And to the near side it comes, right in front of that Georgia bench. Slower skating here as we look forward to the next action here for the Gamecocks. First outdoor game ever for South Carolina. A bit ironic that it comes in of the state of Georgia. Now Jake Tenji loses his footing, and Cam Mecca brings it ahead. Mecca's lost his stick. That's not going to stop him from playing this puck, though. Georgia brings it out. They're going to have to skate around that stick of Cam Mecca. He's going to pick it up. And now dumped back in. And the brakes being applied to the offensive train here of Georgia. The team that scored 21 goals against Tennessee a few weeks ago. Only lost twice. Once to Florida. And once to the Georgia Tech. The fine fellows out of Georgia Tech. Ahead comes South Carolina. They're trying to make a dent in this lead. Centering pass there just past the stick of Hawkinson. And that's really the kind of night it's been for South Carolina.
Yeah, and especially after those first 2 goals for South Carolina, the rink was absolutely rocking. But as we were talking about earlier, I guess those adult sodas are starting to wear off as the crowd has just gotten more and more quiet.
Reality comes crashing back here. You look on the board, you see a 4-goal deficit with 5.5 to go in the third. Although in the grand scheme of things, better than the 13 they yielded last season. As the Gamecocks still try valiantly, Ian Powderly throws that one in front. May have caught the outside of the pad of Mulligan. And now again they go, still in. The Gamecocks refusing to yield here. At the point, Corey Hawkinson going to let one go. Goes into some skates. Some shin guards forming a wall in front of him. And chipping in now. Comes to the center point. Georgia negates that opportunity. Powderly wants it. He can't get it. Out as far as center. They'll bring it back ahead. Stevens in the slot. Can't get anything to go there. Phillips centers for Stevens. That play swatted out and into nothingness by Drummond. Is bringing it back ahead is Corey Hawkinson. Hawkinson shoots one. And that one up into the netting behind Mulligan.
Yeah, and in the grand scheme of things here, Dillon, this is slow and steady progress for South Carolina with going up against such a good team that is the Ice Dogs. Like you said earlier, 13 goals against last season, and they're definitely making progress, but I'm sure this one hurts the Gamecocks starting so hot in the SEC.
As chances pop around in front like firecrackers, it comes around to the far side there. More contact. Luke Rudman, a borderline slewfoot there. As it comes back the other way. The Dogs inspired here a little bit. Almost clipped there. Should the score remain the same, it'll be the first time the Gamecocks allowed fewer than 9 goals to these Bulldogs, dating all the way back a few years now. They allowed a 9 spot twice last season, a 13 spot as more players go down. We'll have more penalties with 3:56 to go in the third. We're going to have to take a second to sort this one out as fans start to head for the exits here in the Plex and head back towards campus. Although, regardless of the outcome, it's really inspiring. You try to look at the positives always. To see so many fans down here at a college hockey game so far away from the college hockey hotbeds of Minnesota, Notre Dame, Boston College. I mean, we are thousands of miles away from the premier college hockey teams. And we still got a sizable showing here, and that really is a testament to these Gamecock fans.
And as this South Carolina team continues to get better and better, the crowds continue to get larger and larger. There's a fast break here.
Meanwhile, 3-on-1 turns into an odd man rush. A big save there by Lynch. He makes it twice. We've got more after. Huge pad save there by Lynch. He sprawls out to glove that puck before it goes into a dislodged net. Now, if that puck had crossed the goal line, I believe the ruling would have been, regardless of the net being off its moorings, it was clear that that puck was headed for the back of the net. I believe it still would have counted as a goal. Because that was, I don't know, that's a new rule introduced in the NHL recently. They clarified that one. If it's clear that the puck is headed towards the net and will go over the goal line, if the net is knocked off in a short enough time span, they will rule it a goal. Although I'm not sure exactly what the ruling is here in the ACHA, as we don't have the benefits of instant replays.
Well, Lynch hasn't exactly had a career day, but what a save right there. Going on another odd man rush, which has really destroyed the South Carolina defense.
Always try to look at the positives no matter what position you're in. Zach Lynch, 2 big saves that, although I'm sure it's been a night to forget for him. Collision there by Mecca. I'm sure he's going to smile about that save, at least for a couple of seconds. Back it comes down to Brian Soar with 3 minutes to go. A night that started out with such promise. 2 quick goals by Ben Smith, followed by 4 unanswered for Georgia. A goal by Ian Powderly made it competitive. And then 3 more unanswered by the Dogs here in the latter 2 periods. They shovel this one ahead off the boards. Corey Hawkinson stepping up for some physicality. We've seen a lot tonight. A lot of hits, a lot of goals. We saw a pane of glass removed from its habitat. We've seen structural damage to the building, including the ceiling. But no matter what happens on the ice, it is always entertaining here at the Plex. As this puck double hit there by Avery Pruden, he'll have to double back as he's shadowed by Carter Penzian. Penzian tries to stip Pruden to the puck. He does. Penzian in the slot, walks, shoots one. Caught a few sticks in front, never got towards the goal. Penzian not willing to take his foot off the gas regardless of the score. Avery Pruden curls towards the slot. He's taken to task there by 3 Dogs. We've seen a lot, I don't know, is it just me or have we seen a lot of hooking calls let go tonight on either side of the puck?
Yeah, the refs have been, with the amount of penalties, you wouldn't believe it, but the refs have really let a lot go, goodness gracious, tonight. Yeah, on both sides of the puck.
Shot towards the goal, tipped all the way back up in the air. Gamecocks will try to advance it as far as they can. It comes into the slot and then all the way back out. Up now onto the stick of Jay Stevens. Stevens cuts towards the middle of the ice, knocks down Tyler Oakley there. He just bowled Oakley over and no penalty there. Oakley didn't have the puck. I guess he just didn't have his feet set. And Jay Stevens, with an assist tonight, steamrolls one of the Gamecock defenders, and that's really been kind of the story of the night. Kyle Harris, a bit of an interaction here with the fans. Not sure if that was pleasant or not. Minute and a half to go here in period number 3. As the clock ticks further on, we get closer and closer to outdoor hockey here, closer and closer to the SEC tournament. A little refresher last year as some more collisions happen here. Oh, Hoey rockets that one into Siegfried. We're going to have a penalty. Well, maybe they'll just rule it offsides. Yes, it came out. Hoey slapped it in off a Gamecock player. They'll come back in offsides. But as I was saying, closer and closer to that SEC tournament, you'll remember the Gamecocks routed in that first round by Kentucky. And then a close one. They lost to the Ole Miss Rebels. And that late goal by, I'm trying to think of the name, Braden Storner. Braden Storner, that name sticking in the heads of Gamecock fans and players alike, even if they have to take a second to try and remember it. Braden Storner crushes the Gamecocks' dreams of at least a fifth place finish with that late period goal. I believe only 11 or 12 seconds left on the clock. They beat Jared Ward off the face-off. And that was all she wrote for the Gamecocks in Nashville last season. A much stronger team this year. That puck held in by Georgia. Into the slot, they bring it again. They'll just pass it around. Nick Pizzo's got it for South Carolina. Held in by the Dogs. Wristed all the way back into the far side corner. Centracchio to get it for South Carolina. 13 to go. They'll wrist it all ahead. That puck double hit a little bit. More hits late here. We'll have to see if this turns into anything right at the buzzer. We've seen players get very physical at the end, and here it comes. Thrown down to the ice, Van Dusen. Nick Pizzo goes after him. The official's going to have to step in here as the buzzer
Zeros
sounds,
on the clock.
The buzzer sounds to end the 3rd period. Gamecocks fall 7-3 here to Georgia. More players getting involved here. But none of it matters anymore. This one in the books, the Gamecocks fall to 7-3 on the season. They lose for the first time in the SEC. They'll have to regroup as they head down for a 6:30 game Sunday night in Auburn outdoors. We're going to step aside. We're going to have a brief post-game report here when we come back on the Capital City Sports Network, presented by SGTV. All right, welcome back for the final time tonight to the Capital City Sports Network as the Gamecocks fall to the visiting Georgia Ice Dogs by a score of 7-3. As we said, a promising start early on, but things started to unravel there in that second period.
Yeah, hot start for the Gamecocks, but then a 4-0 run for Georgia leading through the second period, and really couldn't get anything going offensively. A couple minor chances, but other than that, really nothing. And defense, odd man rushes has been the story of South Carolina's defense so far this year. Has really destroyed them and led to the 7-3 rout.
The Gamecocks certainly feeling the absence of Duncan Hickman from their lineup tonight. Turning our attention forward now, they've got Auburn, again, tomorrow night, 6:30, the Classic Center in Athens, an outdoor game, and really history being made here for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, outdoor, I don't know how the players are going to react to that. I'm sure they love to play outdoors. A lot of these guys, I'm sure, haven't had the chance to play outdoors. So that's exciting, new stuff for them. But a big game at hand, another SEC game with Auburn, and then that game leading into the tournament. So they have to hit the reset button from this one and adjust for Sunday night.
One more chance to collect themselves before Nashville. As we said, Auburn, the tournament champions back in 2018. They've got their name quite a few times on the Sarge Cup, I believe is what they're going to call that new trophy for the SEC tournament. We'll get more info on that as we get closer and closer to the tournament. As again, that'll just about wrap it up for us here on the Capital City Sports Network. As the Gamecocks fall 7-3, they drop to 7-3 on the season here against Georgia. We'll see you next time here on the Capital City Sports Network. For Vince Arceo, Zach McKinstry, all of us here at CCS, my name is Dillon Clark. Good night, Carolina, and forever to thee.
You are watching the Capital City Sports Network on SGTV.